G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my video. First thing I ever want to do is get these sizes of the canvas up there in centimetres and inches. Get that out the way. And also we'll get some colours scooting up the screen there as well. That way you can see what colours I'm going to use. And just remember, if you start scratching your head and thinking, I don't have that colour, it's all right. So long as you got something similar, all right? That's all that matters. It's just a tutorial, and it's going to be great. Beautiful boat scene here. You saw the opening credit picture there. So I want to get my canvas prepped first, and to do that, I'm going to use my craft paint. It comes in a big bottle. It's normally cheaper than your average titanium white out of the tube. This is thicker, this is thinner, it's cheaper and comes in a bigger pack. And it's craft paint, student paint, poster paint, or a flowing white paint. I call it flow white, but it is what it is. It's very cheap, and you can find it in a lot of $2 shops, art and craft shops, all places like that. Okay, a lot of people get confused and asking me in messages and comments, what is the flow white? Where can I get flow white? Well, that's all it is. And you've probably been looking at it in your craft shops all the time. Have I got any left in there? I think I have got a little bit of retarder left in there. So I'm going to use some extender, which is a slow drying medium for acrylic paints. It slows down the drying time. So I'm just getting that on the canvas here while we start. And we're going to have some beautiful colours here as well. All right, so come on over here. So here is a reference picture. Now, the wonderful, great member of my art group, Linda Douglas, posted this. A lot of people, they're allowed to post reference pictures. This is one of her photos. And I love the layout of the sun setting, the clouds, the sun's behind the clouds. We've got a boat there, we've got a palm. You can add or subtract whatever you want to this painting, but I'm going to use that for this tutorial. So I'm getting that paint, that Craft Student Flow White paint, and I'm just mixing it with my applicating brush, my putter on a brush, with that extender medium, which in Australia is called retarder. Some other places call it different names. Now I've masked off the horizon area, and I want to get all the sky area mapped in with this, prepped up for this. I don't want the bottom done yet. I'll do that when I get there. Okay, so this is like a beautiful white magic surface. It's on a canvas board that I've made. It's not on a stretch canvas, it's on a canvas panel. Good quality canvas I've glued to this lightweight canvas board. All right, down on my palette I've got me blue, me red, me yellow and my violet colour there. It's a cerulean blue, a Perol red and an Indian yellow, but they're the colours I want. I'm using these actual colours because it's all I've got. So I want the littlest bit of blue mixed with white in the middle there to get a very grey, pale type of blue in the sky, because I don't want it to be blue at all, but it's got to have a hint of blue. So I'm going to get this cerulean blue and really, see, it's a little bit dark still. See how much of, it's mainly all white. It's pretty much white, but a tainted piece of blue in there. And I'm using the reference as a reference, and pretty much all here is going to be the yellow, pretty much. So this is going to be this blue. So I want to just crisscross it in, paint it in like I'm an artist, and get it just feather into that white there like that. See what I've done? I'll pick up some more. And I'm massaging it into that retarded white paint that was already applied to the canvas first off. Now I'm just going to wipe that brush. I don't have to clean it. And I've got my quinacridone red violet, and I want to get some of this into some white now, just the slightest bit. Let's get all that blue washed out of there. Now I just put a little bit in there, and I'm going to slowly creep that white craft paint into it, just so I get that tinge that I'm after. I don't want it too bright, because do remember, or if you're not quite sure, do understand the acrylic paints dry darker. And I want to get this corner done. and have it fading into that blue. Get some more, mainly across the top and over the corners. I'm crisscrossing it. Now it's very, very light, so I'm going to just pull in some more of that quinacridone red violet now and get a bit more stronger. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Use your brush to wham bam and slap it on, man, like that. It's going to create turmoil within your sky. But pretty much like that'll do. I'm fine with that. I've got the haze of it behind, so it's not going to look out of place. Grab yourself a blending brush, and now you want to wipe this as you go, and we want to blend this now into the blue. And as you do it, try and do it in a way where you're not washing it out. I better grab my paper towel because I've got to wipe my brush as I go. Blending, blending, just getting spears of it put into that light blue paint there. And don't worry if you think, oh no, I've gone too much into the blue, just pick up that blue, stamp it back on and blend it back into this violet. Okay, I'm feeling quite artistically satisfied with that. Okay, now the next colour I want to use is my yellow. I've got Indian yellow. It's so vibrant and lustingly light and bright. And this white area, I want to, where's my tape, the end of the tape's there. I want to get this on before that dries. Let's get that into the sky there, push it right in. This doesn't have to be very deep and heavy bright. And I want to merge that with that light bluey colour we had. There we go, put that down, pick up the blending brush. Where are we? And I want to lightly blend that now into that blue. Just don't overdo it though, because we don't want it to start turning green. We just want it to transition beautifully, wonderfully and greatly. Yeah, so when you're doing it, it makes you want to go, yeah, I'm happy with what I've done there. Okay, I'm grabbing the red and blue and I want to mix up my purple and add white with it as I go. We want it like a grey purple. Now get it nice and bright. That's too red. Now that's our clouds. They're in dark shadow because the sun's behind them. So we might put something, where are we? We might put something over here, just stamp it on. I'll come off the page actually. Stamp it on and pretty much come there. Grab yourself a blending brush and something to dry it as you go, or wipe it as you go, sorry. And blend the turmoil and everything of that cloud into that sky there. Let's hope it's not too dry, no? So I'm going to tickle the tops, get turmoil within there and blend that cloud in. Get it all over the place. That's okay. Okay, we want some small light stuff here just before we start putting the really big stuff in there, okay? So we've got little bits all scooting here. I better blend them as I go in case they go all hard on me, just so I can sit them down into the sky there. Where are we? Yes, there we go. So these are those floating type of clouds. Yeah, I've got to work quick. The paint underneath is drying up on me because it's such a dry day. So I really should have put more retarder in the mix, but I'm going to get there. Just so I've got to work quick because I'm working with the camera as well. You're at home, you don't have to stop for a camera all the time. Okay, we've got some little floaters there. We're just establishing the layout of the sky, and it's going to make for a great detailed sky. I'm not quite happy with that because it's starting to look like a face. So I just want to distort that shape a bit. So he's looking like two eyes, a nose and a bit of a mouth. So I just want to distort that shape so we're not getting that happening. blend it into there. Now we're going to get something reasonably, this is a cloud now, so I'm going to get it on there. I'm pushing it right on, having some yellow in between it. I want turmoil within that, so I want to create turmoil, get the bottom done like so, the bum, blend it out. Blend the top. Okay. Okay, we'll get something over here coming off the page and coming back onto it, so we'll get that out there and blend that. Oh, I should be able to pull it off, but yeah, this, see, normally that would blend beautiful for me, but this retarder, I didn't put enough in, so I'm going to blend as best as I can. Now we're going to get the white. I'm just going to use another fan brush to put in the white. The white's going to mix with those colours we just put on there. So it's just plain titanium white out of the tube. And we'll get some of this going with shadow and charisma, okay? Not too much yet, just get it on there. And we'll sink that back into that cloud. I'm creating the turmoil within it. See, that's given all that cloud its luster back. Do the same here. Good strong white pigmented paint. There we go. And we'll do the same to that one. Twist it on, manipulate it, feel you've got control of your brush movements there. Just remember, you can do this, okay? If you think you can't, that's just because you need to practice it, but once you practice it and you've done it, you know you can do it. See how this just sort of blends them into the sky and adds that third dimensional look to them. And obviously, because my paint dried quicker, it's helping me get done what I want done with it. Okay, I want to get here a bit better. I've just got to work with it because of the dryness. Everything's dried on me. Okay, I want to get this darker. Get it right in front there. Put some of this dark on there throughout the cloud and blend it back into that white. Wipe your brush as you blend, it's important. There we go. All right, just so we can finish it now, I want to get, there's my tape, so I want to get a lot of this paint just along the horizon line there, leaving some empty pockets in it, so when we blend it, it's going to show through. Let's hope that's going to work. And this will have some white in it as well, just to bring in the luster and the dimension like so. I'll just show you on this half. So we're crisping it, playing with it, manipulating it our own way. And do a bit at a time, and see that's going to create those colours there we're looking for, down to the horizon. Beautiful. I want to go a bit higher there maybe, all the way across here. I want to leave some of the yellow / orange in the middle of the clouds to create that depth. Now I'll quickly grab the white, manipulate that into those colours, and that'll pretty much finish this row of clouds. Yeah, love it. Okay, I'm just looking at it now and I want to get the yumminess within these where I feel they need to go. So I'm just trying to see where that needs its yumminess and then blending it down but leaving the brightness there so we're not taking away too much of that glare that we've just added on there, okay? Tickle the tops there a bit. Just move your brush strokes out. Not too happy there. There we go. Get some more yumminess in here. I want to get a bit of dimension there. See how this goes. And I think this top one can do with some light hitting underneath it there. All right. Okay, that's enough for our sky. That's pretty much, I was looking for that deep yellow in there, and the sun, because it's down over the horizon, it's shining up at all these clouds, giving it that grey purpley look. We'll just take the tape off here and then I'll give it just a slight dry over here so I can add the next section. Okay, now we're going to get the watercolours. So I want this blue again, and see what I've done. I've added the slightest of that quinacridone violet in there because that's some of the tone we want. So I want to create that blue again. So let's get very little bits of that. I'm just doing it into the craft paint. Get on there, you. There we go. Get some in there. Oh, that must be enough. There we go. That's the magenta violet, quinacridone violet. That's what I want, little. So we want this, little bits of this starting to come through it now. There we go. This is going to make the temperament for our watercolour. We'll get it to the horizon line. Hang on, let's get him up there. Keep it reasonably straight if you can. You can, once you've dried it like I have, you can mask that off if you like. Anyway, we'll get all this painted in. There's our watercolour. It's got the same reflections of the sky pretty much, okay? Now, while things are still wet, I've just got a little bit of phthalo blue, and we'll get that into the mix. There we go. Just get it a bit darker blue value. Now, I pretty much want a band of it here, right? And where else? Probably here. Okay, just like that. Now I'll wet that through. What I mean by that is I'll use the brush and I'll pull it as long like this so it'll look wet and watery. There we go. Beautiful. Now I've got to wash this brush. So now we're getting the Indian yellow again on my clean brush, and we probably want a main glare coming down here. There. Turn the brush around, maybe a bit of something here, and then over here a little bit. That'll do it. Wipe that brush, and then we want to pull all that in this water while it's still wet. Oh, very strong. That's okay. There we go. Very strong. What I'll do is I'll pick up some of the blue and we'll get some of this blue back in there. So I'll pretty much get it where I want. I'm just laying it on. And we'll pull that through the water because I want the yellow there, but not so heavy and loud and busy. We just want it subtly there. That'll do. Okay. Okay, you Don't have to do this if you want. I'm just going to get some more darker values lined in there on the water, just so as we can taper those within the water. Just like that. Grab your brush after you've wiped it. Oh yes, beautiful. Pull it, get it watery looking. See? I want some of that maybe here. Pick up some more. So I'm going to have the yacht there, so I'll have some sort of shadow trail from that, just to break up the water. There we go. See, it's that easy. Just tell yourself, if that guy Ian can do it, I can do it. It's that easy, okay? And I'm telling you now, if I can do it, you can do it. How are we going? We're all up to this stage. Now we can dry this because we're going to put our bit of land mass in there and then our yacht. All right. So what colour? I'm going to use a dark raw umber. Something dark, maybe with a bit of black in there, all right? Did I say raw umber? I meant burnt umber. So I've got down here some dioxazine purple and burnt umber. So I want to grab the dioxazine purple with a little bit of burnt umber in there. So I've put some tape there so I don't have to muck around. Now there's my bottom cloud, so I don't want to cover too much of that up. This is going to come in front of that wherever you want. Down here. Keep it nice. I've got the brush a bit wet so it's not going to break up. There we go. Down here. Here we go. See, it's just not black. Looking at this in real life, you can see that dioxazine. You can see the tint of brown in it. It's great, vibrant colours. Get used to, in your first big part of your art journey, if you're just using plain basic dark and bright colours, that's fine. But the further you go in your journey and you learn what you can do, adopt it and do it because it's fantastic. Now I'll grab some of the white, flow white, and just from the bottom where the tape is now, I just want to lightly get a distance between there, just like that. I'll wipe the brush up here, and I just want to merge that. There we go, beautiful. You'll see when I take the tape off why I'm doing this, but this is creating the distance between this land mass and the next bit I put in front of it. Okay, I've dried that, but I haven't left enough for the next bit of land mass. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this tape and lower it. Okay, I can come down into the water more, that's fine. So it's about there. This is going to be our horizon line, this tape. So now I've washed that brush, I'm picking up the burnt umber on its own now. And then we'll put the front row of land mass in front. Now, that white that you put on there, let's get that into the water so we don't. Stay within that colour there. Okay, just make it as detailed or lumpy as you want. Come down there. And just block that into the tape. I've just picked up some black on the brush while this is still wet because I don't want it just browny brown. I want some real dark elements within that. This is just in the background because the boat's going to be the little thing in the middle of this that makes you go, look at that. The boat's going to be that bit. Look at that. There we go. Let's take the tape off carefully and see what's happening there. Beautiful. Okay, things are still wet. I've just washed that brush. It's still a little bit damp. I want to see over here, don't have it dripping wet, if I can blur that horizon line just here. And if I can, yep, I'm going to use the tip of this brush just to sink that where I pulled the tape off horizon line down, and you'll see the difference. And if you didn't see what it looked like before I put the stick on, you can rewind the video and have a look. And that's just giving it a bit more pride as well. Okay, I've mapped in where I want to put a boat, and I'm going to have to be leaning on here. So I made a mistake in my rainbow finch painting before, and I don't want to do the same in this. So I'm just going to tape a bit of protective paper there, just so when I'm leaning here, I'm not going to ruin my sky. And I want to map it in with the titanium white, so I'm just grabbing a smaller flat brush. I like to use flat brushes, wetting it down a bit. And we can just map in the whole boat with the white. So we've virtually got a primer to put all our colours on. And if they're going to need it, it's there. If they don't need it, it doesn't matter. At least it's there anyway. Better to be there than not to be there. So I've copied the picture roughly from the photo. Okay, everything's dry, and I'm just grabbing some blue with the white here, and then get your brush reasonably wet enough so it's going to transfer. And we're just going to add the blue and some black to get some details in here. So I pretty much want to create the dimension of the hole, which is there. This just doesn't have to be, get some kind of windows in here. Some blues kind of fading around here. Something up there. What else have we got? We could probably get some bluey stuff there. And then just get the paint out of that brush, and I'm grabbing some black now. Just get it reasonably inky. Okay, I'll see if I can get this up there a lot straighter than what that white one was, but it's not going too well. Okay, that'll do. Now I want the main mask black. So we've got some whites and that under there. Some of the blue. Very thin lines and details on here now. Now you can put any boat on this painting, doesn't have to be this one. I've got traceables in the link below. And you can use a boat from there, just print it out the size you want. There's a lot of shadow, there's a lot of people on here. Look like people anyway, we'll just do lines like that. The main thing, where it's hitting the water, there's a dark band there. Okay, it's important to have that there. Now I'm just grabbing the other flat brush, and where are we? I want some dimension in the sail, so I'm just using the blue on this flat brush, just where all the ribs are going to be. I'm just going to put something there like that. Do the same to the actual boat here so it doesn't look so cartoony. It's sort of blending in with subtle but distant detail. Okay, now I want to get the black. Just putting some rivets there, and I want these to be beautiful, thin if I can, lines coming out of the sail. You just don't want to do this over a flat white sail because it'll look a bit empty and something missing kind of thing. Now the pale blue we had mixed with the white just to taint the sail, I've just got a bit of black and put in there, okay, just a little bit, just so as we can put our shadows of the boat this dark shadow that I put there before is the actual trail of the boat, so I'm just detailing that now with this, just making some shadow scallop lines there. Let's hope that's looking like something. And we'll also put some kind of shadow, which is roughly about here, of the boat. So I'm going to get the edge of it done and then fill it in with the solid colour, but the edges need to be scalloped and broken away, just like so. I'm just changing brushes up a bit because that one was getting a bit awkward to fill in the solid bit. I need this here solid, coloured, and then fading into these little type of scallops just coming out into the water like that. Okay. I've got to stop bending my knee backwards. I'll see if I can bring some of that into, there we go, just into the shadow colour. Not too much. So you seesaw it, you put the shadow into the watercolour and the water into the shadow colour, and you sort of get a reasonably realistic type of reflection going on there. I just want to sink the reflection of the boat down in the water, so I've just got white now. Easily does it. I want these very thin, just sort of like the light's glistening on that surface of the water there. And this is just the glistening surface of the shadow in the water there. Bring some into the water as well. I'm trying to get them as straight and as tiny as possible because the brush is wanting to bend like a smiley mouth. Even over here, just very gingerly, little white, skinny, parallel, oh not parallel, horizontal to the horizon line shimmers on top of that water there. It just gives it that glassier look. When you're looking at your painting, someone will say, I like the way you got the water looking like glass. Well, just these little things that I'm doing now help it to look like that, okay? I'm just finishing it off now. I'm putting that, you know how the sails have that big tarp where they wrap it up? I'm just putting that in there to give it some sort of depth as well. A little string coming down here, maybe a couple of strings, just to make it look boaty. That'll do. All right, I've got some moulding paste. So I want to grab some of this, put it on the palette there, and I want to mix up the colour for the trunk, which is sort of like a blacky brown. So we have the black and the burnt umber, and I want to mix this. Now this paste is just pretty much going to make the paint like a thick paste, which is what I want. And then we're going to grab a knife, not this knife, I'm just using this knife to mix it up. We're going to grab a knife, yeah, that's the colour I want, perfect. We're going to grab a knife just to shape this trunk on there. Okay. Okay, so let's grab some of this. I have put a line there with a pencil just to map out the direction I want to go. So I'm going to grab this now, and our trunk is pretty much coming off the page. So what I want to do, oh my goodness, that's so thick. So we're going to come pretty much right off here. So I pretty much just want to do one side first and map it in to where I'm going to be. And I think I might need a better knife than this because this one's not going to give me the control I'm looking for. I'm going to come down. I want this, the right hand side of my knife, I want nice and sharp. I'm not worried about the other side just yet. So we're getting some more on our knife. There we go. See, this is going to be real structured. I don't care if it's sticking out. Now I'm going to load the knife on the other side. On the left hand side now, okay? And start at the top, come down, getting the thickness of the trunk. Nice, a little bit thicker at the bottom. Grab some of this puttied up paint, get the edge of it nice and sharp. Nice and sharp. Turn it around if you need to. Nice and structured and thick, I love it. It's the sort of painting someone can look at and actually touch as well. Now I've pretty much got the paint on where I want it. I'm just going to get the knife and carefully shape the roundness of the trunk with the knife, just so it doesn't look all willy-nilly. It's got some form of realness to it. Okay, there's my trunk. I might use a smaller knife now and grab some white and this colour. So I'm grabbing some of this again, and we want to lighten it up. It doesn't have to be fully mixed, just subtly, a bit more. If you don't have to use that modelling paste if you don't have it, I just wanted to use it. Wipe your blade and then just spread this out like a sheet of glass or and then cut your knife through it, okay? This is wet. We don't want to overdo it. We just want little bits skimming across the top of that. There we go. Okay, I've dried that trunk. Now, I'll get my brush a little bit damp. I've got me burnt umber. I want some black in it. Same colour, mostly burnt umber. And we're just going to put our palm fronds on. Give them a slightest bit of green, not too much because they're in shadow. And the top of the palm's pretty much all the way up the top there. So you're imagining, see the top of this palm, let's say, is up here. So we want to imagine that we're coming down doing our prongs, whatever you call them. So we got one there, I might have one about here. Don't kill all your sky. We will have maybe some of this off there, coming to a point, there we go. Some of that coming off there to a point. Now we're already getting it. There we go. And we'll get some down here. Now if you think, oh, I like my painting in, but I didn't want to really put that palm in the big front there, you don't have to. I'm just going by the reference picture here. So we've got black and the brown, the burnt umber, making everything up here. Okay, I'm just finishing it off now, getting the fullness down from the top of the painting. We don't want it all going into nothing at the top there. We just pretty much see all these little gaps here. We've got to get them busy with the leaves and the prongs. There we go. Now pretty much covered a lot of the sky, but it's part of the painting. Okay, now I'm grabbing the forest green. The paint's a bit more on the watery side. I've dried this. I don't know if I told you or not, but I just told you now. I just want the hints of green over the blacks. Don't put the green over the the purpley bit there because it's going to stick out like bee's knees. We're just putting this within the brown that we've got there, just willy-nilly. Try not to think about it too much, just otherwise you make it difficult for yourself. Okay, let's just put a signature on here, then we can whack a frame on it and see how it looks. Now make sure you check out the links in the description below. There's quite a few there, all my art's for sale. There's links to see what's available for sale. There's a PayPal link to do payments of paintings if you want to buy one. There's my art group page, become a member of my art group page. You can share all your work there and chat with other artists. Okay, whack a frame on here. There we go, that's not too shabby. It's a beautiful sun-setting lake with a yacht cruising down for afternoon dinner, and there's a palm on the shore there. You can do that, all right? I hope you had fun watching this video and you learned something from it and you have a good go at doing this painting, all right? And if you like what I'm doing, tell your friends and family, but if you don't, you tell everybody, all right? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.